Sorry. Hello, guys. Welcome. I don't know. So I think something is echoing on from my end. I'm trying to look for what's echoing. Sorry, guys. The hell is echoing? Oh, sorry. I was trying to look for something was echoing from my end.
Um, well, it sounds okay now.
Yeah, I have actually resolved it. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Ah,
Hey, how are you
Um,
guys doing?
well, good. I'm good. I don't know. Talking about today's episode, like, what do you say overall, like the whole episode in general? What was your thoughts about the whole episode in general?
A waste of my time?
Ready
Like,
for
that's
this
honestly,
season to end.
I was just like, this is a waste of my time. Like, honestly, I was this close to just being like, do you know what? I'm going to bed. I'm not even joining this review panel tonight. Because I was just like, I'm staying up for this mess. Like, that's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest, I think they really just need to go on a break. I'm tired of Real Housewives of Atlanta for now. They just need to go on a break and don't come back for like the next 5 years or something because I don't know what's going on. But yeah, it's not working out. No.
5 years, is it not that long?
I'm tired.
Going on break.
Like they should go and not come back. I even think I'm being nice by telling them to go for 5 years. Like it's actually annoying at this point.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, what was very funny to me was this particular part when they were in this sound bite or whatever, and they were reminiscing. I was like, what's this editing? Reminiscing about things. It was so funny to me.
I
Like
know,
what?
like honestly, if
Yeah.
anyone listening today has done a sound bath, like please let us know like if the whole reminiscing thing is like normal. Cause I was just like, I don't understand why everyone seems to be going into like some sort of trance. So you guys let us know in the live chat if you guys have actually done a sound bath before and what was your experience. Cause I don't know, it just felt a bit forced to me. But I don't know because I've never really experienced a sound bath, so I wouldn't know if it's part of what happens. But yeah.
I was just like, we go on to something else. Like the thing about it to me is this: of all people, Shereé, like Shereé is so fake and so phony and so messy. I'm like, give me a break. I all
Mm-hmm.
this stuff, I can't with her. I just can't. Not with her. I'm so sick of her.
It's the pretense for me in terms
Yeah,
of she's always
yeah.
like acting like, oh, I'm trying to bring everyone together. I'm so embarrassed right now. I'm like, girl, you've done worse things. Like, shut up. Like, I don't really
Yeah,
understand what's going on
yeah.
with you.
Oh, this today's episode, she was so pretentious. I was like, why is she acting as if she's not part of the mess? Like getting pissed off. I'm like, oh, I didn't bring you here for this. And some of the things, she was the one that brought the mess. Like there were sometimes she was the one
She
that asked the
started it.
questions, and I'm like,
Yep.
you said
I said she started it.
exactly, like you started this thing and it has gone, and you're like, oh, I don't like how it is going. I'm embarrassed. Like, please save your embarrassments to yourself.
Mm-hmm. I'm
Yeah.
tired.
Save it to and when it comes to this ladies, oh my god, I
Mm.
felt like Monyetta, when she went to when she went to what's her name,
Kenya?
Kenya, to tell her what, I felt like it was not in her place to say because she was in the conversation. She was seated right there. If you felt a certain way about whatever they were saying, or in what form they were saying. You should have voiced it out there in that gathering with those people, but you stayed there, contributed, listened, then went and tried to be the good person by telling Kenya, then adding your own piece of condiments into whatever you were saying to make it beautified for Kenya and pleasing to Kenya's face, so that Kenya will be like, okay, yeah, yeah, she has said something, no, very pleasant. Like, I'm like, she didn't, that part where she told Kenya whatever, all those things, I felt like it was unnecessary, and I'm beginning to dislike Monyetta. I don't know, I'm beginning to dislike her a lot.
I think she's very pretentious. And my thing is, you said there's a collusion, right? But then when asked why you said that word, you couldn't even explain it. And I'm just like, if you're gonna say something, stand 10 toes in what you've said.
Right.
I
Right.
said what I said and I ain't changing it, right? But I think with her, it's almost like when she was called out in it, she was so quick to backpedal and then say, oh, I'm sorry, or whatever she said. And I was just like, girl, if I felt like you guys were colluding and I said it, I'm going to stand and say, yes, I said it. And that's exactly how I feel. But it just felt like she was trying to stir the pot a little bit. I suspect one thing I'm starting to feel like with this season is that the producers are heavily involved, in my opinion. I feel like the producers are heavily involved and almost at this point telling them what to say and trying to manufacture beef. That's what I think it is. Because it just doesn't make any sense.
It's crazy to me. The whole thing. And then Marlo filming Drew saying something about that whole thing with Latoya, and then sending Latoya the video. Marlo, I need you off my TV screen. I need
Please.
you off my. I'm so tired. I'm so sick and tired of her. Just she. I'm just tired of this. Let me tell you, it just pains me to watch this, because really, if it wasn't for this panel, I wouldn't watch the show. I would have then stopped watching it, because it's a waste of my. It's a waste of time. It is
It
a
is.
waste of time for all of us. And Sanya, with her, she makes me sick. Makes me sick too. The whole thing. And
Hi,
Drew,
Shop Reality.
get your head out of your behind. Courtney is nothing but trouble. Courtney is showing you she is not your cousin. Like, why she keeps saying my cousin, my cousin? She is not your cousin. She's Ralph's cousin. So she's gonna be on Ralph's side. She is not with you. She's already shown that she is not for Drew. She is with the other girls. So Drew is just not getting it at all. Ridiculous.
Yeah. Talking Slana said that Moeda was messy because this episode would have been dead boring, which I believe is true. If not because of her, I think the episode would have been boring. Then speaking of Moed, the fact that I said speaking of Drew, I
Mm.
don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I think Drew has to go wash her mouth so deep, because this babe can lie.
Yep.
She
She's very.
lies so much.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
I mean, and the fact is that her own lies is even worse, because you know the truth. You know some of these people know the truth, and you were still lying. Like, how? How does she put her face? Because if I was the one, I know that some of these people here that I'm sitting with know the truth, and they saw me. It's like it's been known, and I'm still lying about it. I don't think I'll be able to lie to that extent when I know that one or two people on the table I'm sitting on knows the truth about me. And she sat
Yeah.
down there and lied, and oh my God, I was like, this
Especially
lady has so
someone.
many faces.
Especially someone who comes across as a reliable source. So you don't have to like Kandi, but generally we haven't caught Kandi. Anyone can correct me if I'm wrong, but we haven't caught Kandi in an outright lie so far. So because of that, I feel like if Kandi says something that is gold, everyone takes it as she's telling the truth. So if you're going to lie, you don't lie on somebody like Kandi. And
You know,
Kandi,
Kandi also said in the episode that if me, Malu, and Kenya agree on something, it should
mm-hmm,
already speak. It should already let you know that there's something going on.
100%. And the thing about Drew is, I feel like the way she should have played it is, oh, I don't remember. Now I understand why she's lying. I think the reason she's lying is one, she doesn't want the direction or the focus to be on her kissing Latoya or Latoya kissing her when she's going through a divorce, because it's going to come across as she was cheating and Ralph was also cheating, when essentially what she's trying to portray is the fact that Ralph did his dirt throughout the marriage.
Hmm.
That's what I think is coming through. Also, I don't know which state she's filing in, or whatnot. Different states have different rules about infidelity and division of assets and stuff like that. So I feel like it could be in her best interest to lie, if that makes any sense. However, the way she's doing it right in these people's faces and really pushing back and lying in all our face, like, that is crazy. However, I don't know if you guys watched, I think, was it the Bravo, I don't know if it was the after show or whatnot, but it was on Bravo, right? And they
Hmm.
were talking about asking her about the comments about she's from Chicago. They don't use the word shooting. Did you see how she responded to it? She responded like a true politician. It's
Yeah.
like she did not answer the question, but she found a way to turn it into all these people who have lost people and we have to be sensitive. I'm like, that did not answer the question. Do you use the word shooting in Chicago or not? It's a very direct question. But the way she danced around it, and even Kandi was there almost like sympathizing and really taking in and accepting what she said. And I just thought, she is good. She is good at it. But yeah, that was crazy just watching her lie yet again.
It was just absolutely. Oh, she's just too much. Too much.
You know what, when she was arguing with this lady in today's episode, with
Marlo?
Malu, and she was like, I'm gonna put this thing on you, bitch. And I was like, I thought in Chicago you guys don't do violence. Like, what's going on here? Like, she was like, I don't do violence, but you are ready to flip the table on somebody. Like, she's such a good actress that I understand now. I believe she's a good actress because she can flip the switch at any time. And did you see the way that she, even if it was Candy that caused the issue, it was Candy that brought up the um with Latoya, she tried. I don't know what it is with this lady, always this lady's always licking Candy's ass. But the way she tried to ignore Candy's part of it and just focused on Marlo
Mm.
is to be studied.
I think she also knows she does not want to fumble the bag because she's currently acting in something that Candy has involvement in. So she's not stupid enough to fumble the bag all the way um by doing that. And I think also it's one of those things where being friends with Candy is beneficial in a way, in the sense that if you notice, Candy tends to support everyone on the show in one way or another. And I think that's what that is. It's a relationship of convenience. Because let's be honest, Candy is it's not like Candy has ever really had her back on the show like that. Um but it seems like she's always like sort of I guess, having Candy's back or even other people's back as well. But at the same time, I'm just like, it's one of those things where I completely hear what you're saying. Like, no one really like calls Candy out like that. Even Kenya will sort of go around to someone else first before it then gets brought back to Candy, which is so weird because I'm like, if that's your friend, why not just go to your friend directly and say, this is how I'm feeling, and then just address it? But then again, I do think there's also the fact that Kandi does not necessarily take accountability for her part and stuff all the way. And because if you remember the conversation, I think was it with Drew, when Drew was saying that she didn't appreciate what Kandi said about Unseen. Do you guys remember that? And the way initially Kandi kept sort of like playing around and dancing around with that before she eventually apologized. But also, it also brought me back to, I think, a scene where Shereé was saying something that she felt like Kandi did. And then Kandi, instead of like accepting or at least being like, okay, that's my friend feels a certain way, she flipped it back on what Shereé does. And so I think there is a thing to be said of, I guess, Kandi not necessarily like taking accountability when things are brought to her. So people just tend to let it go.
Yeah. I don't know. Also, that the text message and the covering. What was your
Yeah.
what's your thought? I don't know what your thought about this, because for me, I felt like I didn't see anything wrong with her videoing it, but I felt like it was unnecessary sending it to Latoya. But again, I don't know the relationship that Marlo has with her, so I can't say. It's literally like, okay, should I judge the fact that she wasn't supposed to send it since she was not in that gathering, or do we know the friendship that her and Latoya has outside the show?
The thing is, I can see two sides of that in the sense that, like, if that's my friend, if Latoya is my friend and someone is talking and lying on her, best believe I'm like, girl, please get here now. I'm like sending her everything that I need to send her. However, what it sounded like was like they were all having like a good time and everything, and they decided that the camera should be off, and then Marlo then decided to record her even after that point. So I think it's almost like it's violating someone's privacy in that sense. If we've already said, okay, filming is done, let's cut out all the cameras, no personal cameras or whatnot. And because what I've noticed is it seems like there is the reality that they're showing us, and then there is the true reality which is happening behind the scenes. And so I feel like in this instance, if you guys already agreed to cut the camera off and then you pick up the camera and you're recording me, I will feel some type of way about it.
But Monyetta was also had a camera on too.
Yeah, but did you notice that Monyetta said as soon as she realized and they said, oh, the cameras, as in cut the cameras, were no longer filming, she stopped filming.
To me, that made
Well,
no sense when she said that.
Moyeda.
Yeah, so as soon as the camera stopped filming, she stopped filming. I'm like, but
Yeah, so I don't know if you remember the whole Bolo situation
yeah,
where there was a point where it showed that they said cameras went off at a certain time, right? That's
right.
when production leaves and then the girls just stay together and have
Hmm.
their personal fun behind the scenes
Hmm.
without cameras. So during those moments are not necessarily for TV. That's sort of like their actual true moments. And so
Hmm.
I think what Monyetta meant was she was filming when production was there. But as soon as production left and it was wrapped and it was like a private moment, she stopped
Then she
filming.
stopped filming. Okay.
Yes. So it's the same way like they couldn't have or they didn't have footage of what happened with Bolo because as soon as the camera production left, everyone basically stopped filming and it was now like a private party.
Mm.
But the thing is, people need to learn, right? These are your coworkers. I don't care how much fun you have with these people, they're your coworkers. So, whenever you're around them, like, remember anything can and will be used against you.
Hmm.
So, I feel like it's a lesson for anyone that is like friends with their coworkers. Always bear that in mind. Honestly, you just never know.
Exactly, because that's what Sheree said. Sheree said we are always on the camera every time. So once we see that someone else just brought out the phone and was videoing it after, probably yes, she shouldn't have sent it to Latoya. But I believe that me, I just put it like, okay, she's close friends with Latoya outside the show, and she wanted to show her what was it being discussed about her at her back. And I feel like the only reason why Drew got pissed off and upset is because she Drew is like, Latoya was not there, so she was free to say whatever she wanted to say.
Mm-hmm.
But now that Latoya was aware, there was a video evidence put on to Latoya, she feel like, man, things are started going opposite how I wanted it. So I feel like the reason why she was so, hitting on Marlo was because she has been exposed to Latoya, and the fact and the way she was denying, like saying, the way she was so strongly denying and, heavy on it. She didn't like that Latoya now has an idea of how she was lying about it. That's what me I feel like. That's why she was hitting out Malu that hard. That she was exposed.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. The one thing I wonder about is that before this, though, isn't wasn't there like some sort of rumor that Latoya cleared up that they'd never kissed? So before this whole thing came out, with this new season, so I don't really understand what the benefit, I guess, would be of why she would be so upset if it was sent to Latoya, if they had already agreed privately to say that they'd never kissed.
Well, that's I don't know. Drew is just she has so many personalities that sometimes I don't even know which one I'm expecting.
Yeah, definitely, but she definitely makes for good TV, I'll say that,
Yeah,
because
she does. She
yeah,
does.
because to be honest, I feel like she's the only one that really needs to get paid this season because like the rest have not really been working for that
The
check.
rest haven't been doing anything. Kandi has been so real, like she hides her, like she's more into the
People,
SWV stuff and less into the Real Housewife stuff.
yep. And the thing is, she gives us more on speak on it versus actually on the show. I think, to be honest, I think it's time
Exactly.
for Candy to transition. Mm.
I don't understand why she talks more and speak on it than what she does on the show. I don't even understand.
She's
Yeah,
probably sick of the show.
she probably is. But the thing about it is, if she wants to come back, then she needs to like make sure that she's felt, her presence is felt on the show. If not, she's going to end up just being kicked out. Like, even think about the seating arrangement for the reunion. I don't know if you guys saw the
Yeah,
alleged.
I did.
Yeah, I saw it.
She was on the far end again. Again. It's like,
And
how long is that going to go on for before Andy's just like, maybe it's time to.
Well, that's not her fault. They keep putting her there. Even the
Yeah, but
time when she's had like they're always putting her out there, which to me makes no sense.
yeah, I get that. But at the same time, I'm thinking if she owned the show and she was that good, she would probably be sitting right next to Andy. So
Well,
now I
well,
by
see,
that good, I mean on the show itself.
but
Like
see
I
the
like
way. But if you look at that seating chart, the way the teams are divided up, you have Kenya. Was it Kenya, Drew, and Candy on one side? Then on the other side, you have who was it? Shereé, Marlo, and Sanya. Those
mm-hmm.
are your two. Those are your two teams.
Yeah.
So they have to decide who has more going on, Kenya or Candy, who has more problems. And Kenya is always more has more arguments, more everything going on. If they didn't do it like that, if they weren't divided up into teams, then he really could have Kenya on one side and Candy on the other.
Mm-hmm.
Because Candy has a lot of stuff going on between the, the Marlo and the Shereé and everything else. going on, but that's how they have it team by team. That's why the show needs to be revamped. The show really needs to be revamped because of that. Marlo,
Now that we're even talking about this thing, now we're talking about this team stuff, like them being divided. Like, I don't understand this group dynamics because it's not making sense to me why they are putting themselves in this group.
Yeah.
I don't know how long they think they can sell that, like this group stuff, this one's on this level and this one's on this level. Because, and the fact is that everybody is always trying to justify whatever their team member is doing, even if it's wrong.
Hmm. I feel like now it's like a loyalty game. And like everyone is like, oh, I'm gonna be loyal, I'm gonna stand by my friend so that when it's my turn, she can stand by me. And the
mhm.
problem with that is it doesn't make for a good reality TV show because now we're thinking you can't even be, like a neutral third party because you're always getting involved, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, Courtney annoys me.
Oh, she annoys the heck out of me. I can't. I couldn't stand her from episode one because she
Same
talks
here.
too much, and she thinks
But
she's cute, and she's not.
but but talking about Courtney, I did like the way she came at Kenya. I'm sorry, I don't know whether anybody felt like that, but I did like the way she came at Kenya because Kenya has been doing too much. The way Kenya, I think, was it last week's episode or 2 weeks ago when she was laughing and like touched her, and Kenya was like, "Oh, don't touch me!" Like as if it was something dangerous or something bad touching her. And Kenya has been saying a lot of things, and now coming to this episode trying to be double standard didn't make sense. So I might not like some of the things she said about her falling down and the rest, but I love that she came for and was like, "You're talking about somebody talking bad about you, saying things about you. You do the same things."
Hmm.
Well, I wouldn't want
I
anybody touching me either.
Yeah.
Don't be touching all over me while you're talking. First of all, I don't know you like that. I don't like you, so don't touch on me while you're talking. So, because she is so let me tell you, Courtney is so desperate to try to get a peach and be on that show that she's doing too much,
Yep.
doing entirely too much.
Yeah. Like I
but,
agree with
but
you.
can sorry. Okay, you can go on review. Sorry.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, do you know what? I agree with Mocha in the sense that, like, for me, I don't like people touching me if we're not there. And so, like, if I was talking to someone, she kept touching me. At some point, I'll just feel like, what is this girl doing? Like,
Hmm.
keep your hands to yourself. And so, I get where Kenya was coming from there. However, I agree that Kenya dishes it out sometimes, and then when it comes back, she can't take it, or she gets in her
Exactly. That's
feelings.
what I'm saying.
So
You should be
I
able to handle what you are giving out.
Mhm. Yeah. So I completely, because sometimes the way she's just like, oh, everyone is so mean. I'm like, girl, you are mean too. Like, let's just make it clear.
Hmm.
Everyone has their moments on this show. So
Right.
no one, we're not going to act like you're perfect. And that's why even when Shereé kept acting like the peacemaker and acting like she was embarrassed, that really annoyed me because I'm like, all of you have issues and that's okay. It's representative of how life is, right? But you sitting there and acting like, oh no, it's all good, I'm not mean and you're the one being mean. Of course, I think it was a good dialogue. I think Courtney held her own. I did not like the fact that she was saying that, her Kenya falling and all that stuff. I just think that is so low because that's like something happening to Courtney today. And then we're like, oh, because she was so mean on the show, that's why something bad happened to her. That's not good. And
Right.
it can happen to anyone. So yeah, I did not like that at all.
That was, I think that was the only part I didn't like when she was like talking about the fact that she fell down. I was like, that was not necessary. That was very low. But I still love the way she stood up to her because Kenya is in short, it's all of them that do that. They always want, some of them want to claim I'm a good person. I don't like violence. I don't like trouble. I don't like problem. I'm calm. But sometimes they dish out that problem themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They dish it out themselves. So I literally don't like I don't understand why, but I loved it. I don't know. I loved it because it was necessary. Because I don't think anybody this season has literally told Kenya off like Courtney did. And you could see that it pissed her off
Yeah.
because she did not expect Courtney. Because Courtney is this kind of person, she would just be laughing, those her laughs that are annoying to the ears. She would just be laughing and be like, "Ew, ew, ew, ew." So she did not expect Courtney coming for her the way she did, and it's I think it's made her lose her balance for a while. Like you could literally see that she was like trying to like like what happened, like trying to like organize herself. Like was it me
But
that
she
this
didn't
girl
see that
just did this
coming.
thing?
She didn't see that coming at all. She didn't see that coming.
Exactly. It was like a shock, like a blow that just came out from nowhere. Like is this Courtney? And you could notice, like she forgot Marlo for a while. From Kenya to forget about Marlo, to not talk about Marlo, you should know that thing really pissed her off. For her to forget about Marlo and talk about Courtney continuously, she literally, she touched somewhere in her soul that she was like, man, this lady has literally done what nobody has done on the show. So that was what made me happy because when Kenya is doing hers and is riling people up, she always feels like, and she's always happy. So I was happy that somebody else could do it to her so she could have that same feeling she makes others feel.
Yeah. No, I get that
Indeed.
completely. I did like
But
Malu's dress, by the way. Malu's dress. Malu looked good.
oh Marlo, no. Marlo is always her fashion sense is always there. It's just there. She Her dress sense was making, and like I love her. She takes her time and she always looks beautiful.
Nah, she looks good in that dress. There are some things that Malu wears that I'm a bit like, not really feeling. But this fit, I was like, yes, girl. Like as soon as I
Mm,
saw it, I was like, yeah, this is a 10 out of 10 on this one. Also, is it just me or Sheree almost looks like Drew sometimes? There was a point I thought
Yeah,
Sheree was Drew. I was like, what the hell? What the hell? Yeah.
probably it's the surgeries.
It's the surgery and the hair, I think.
Oh, it's becoming too much. I don't know whether you saw her on the after show.
Yeah, I did.
Man, I couldn't recognize her.
Yeah. It's like just call her Drew point oh or something, Drew 2.0 or something at this point.
And I don't know. Did you guys see where Martell called? Oh my god.
oh,
Oh, that
that
was
was
so
so
cringe.
cringy.
Oh,
That was
Oh,
cringe.
like just that was so
oh
cringe.
my
Yeah.
god.
Ugh.
Oh,
They
that
just
that
they
was like a
that's
no-no.
information we do not need to know. Sorry.
I'm telling you. I was like, why did we need to know that you guys are always doing it? Why do we need to know you should be thinking? Like, I felt like it was just for TV, trying to
Of
push a
course.
narrative. Like, it felt so forced. Like, I was like,
It
Hmm.
did.
they should have
It did.
scrapped that side in total. I didn't need to hear that.
It did. Like I was just like there was no reason for all of that. Like he was definitely trying. I think he noticed that we don't believe that he and Shereé are in a relationship. She was like, let me amplify this a little bit.
That was unnecessary. That
Very.
was really unnecessary at all. Like I was literally like cringing, like, I didn't need that. Ha. Now, please let's talk about this Raf's text and Raf talking to Marlo and Marlo, the text he sent to Marlo. He said, Marlo, I understand you're saying disrespectful things about me on this trip. I'm disappointed because I thought we were cool and I've been nothing but nice to you. I forgave you for disrespectful things you said about me last year, and now it's getting old. Please keep my name out your mouth. But let's be truthful. Did Marlo literally say anything really disrespectful to Ralph?
I
Here's the
don't
thing.
understand why he called her.
Yeah. And also, so the reason I'm not going to speak too much about whether or not anything was said was because you know how sometimes they edit stuff and we don't get the full picture. So I don't necessarily know about that. But my point is, why does Ralph have Marlo's number to begin with, and vice versa? Because I
Eh,
don't believe Drew and Marlo have ever been friends like that.
Right.
So there is
and
no
did you see
reason.
the text message? They text like they had a previous text where it was,
Yeah, I
or it
saw
looked
it.
as if they were
Good morning,
all good and
Aquarius
loving.
brother. What? Why are you calling him
Yeah,
Aquarius brother? What the hell? Like there is
I
unnecessary familiarity there that shouldn't have been there to begin with. Like, why are you texting her husband?
my Aquarius,
Why is her
and there
husband
was a
texting
love.
you?
The love emoji was there.
Uh-huh. Like that is so out of order. Because I'm sorry, like as soon as it came up as I was like, why do you have Ralph's number? And why is he texting you? And then I saw that there was a previous message before. I'm like, girl, no, 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 no. This is out of order. Drew, you need to check her. That's
But when she said he was on the phone and they looked at Drew, and that could have been an edit that they did. Drew didn't have like any expression on her face, like she knew the call was like the text was coming.
mm,
And because my first thing would have been, why is my husband texting her? Like I would have kind of held it together, but then I would have called him or whatever. But I don't. To me, like that made no sense for him to call her whatsoever, or text her rather.
yeah. Like you could have waited until like you were in her presence because you guys
Yeah,
were at a random
together.
event. It's giving like temper tantrum. Let me check you by text message. That's insane. Like why?
I'm telling you, I felt a certain way when she said, I got a call, I got a text from Rap. I was like, the first one was like, why should he text somebody else? And even if my wife, as my Drew, complained to him, shouldn't you first find out exactly? Like, don't just hear from one person's mouth.
Mm-hmm.
At least give Marlo the opportunity to explain this is what happened, and you are just diving into it. You could see, for me, you said and Muka said the expression she gave was she wasn't expecting the text. The way I saw it was that she must have exaggerated what Marlo said to Drew about Ralph to Ralph.
She could
You
have.
get. And
Hmm.
when she saw Ralph, when she heard that Ralph texted Malu, what me I thought was she was scared. Probably he must have told her exactly what she said, and that table there would have like be like, okay, oh, she didn't say that. That was like out of place. So I felt like what I noticed from her was like, I didn't expect it to go this far. I didn't expect him to call because I never like you did something without expecting a reaction that far. That was what I saw from Drew. That she didn't expect her husband to call Malu. She expected for him to just be riled up, just put that seed of hatred in him, and that was going to be it. But I guess the reason why he texted her, probably they've always been buddies, and he felt like, okay, I'm being disrespected by somebody I felt like I'm buddy with. I don't see reason to that. And the thing I would ask is, Drew, your husband is body with somebody else on the same cast as you are, the same show that you are, and you did not know. That speaks volume on the marriage.
Well, we
Yeah.
know where
Because
the
even
marriage is going.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead, Mocha.
I said we know where the marriage is going.
Yeah. And we know he doesn't tell her anything. He couldn't even tell her where he went to. Like when he said he needed a break and went to Tampa. So like, I'm not surprised he's not going to tell her who he talks to.
I feel like that. See, I don't know how much because I know, as in I can verify I have that Drew exaggerated everything that went on, even if I feel like it was edited. But I don't. The way Marlo was talking, I don't really think she said anything bad. But did you notice the faces of all of them when she said Ralph texted me and was talking about me saying things about you? They did not look pleased that the ladies didn't look pleased that it got to that extent where Ralph had to be brought in and was told those things. Because this is the same thing, like, okay, this is the same thing you were condemning her for doing to Latoya, about taking a conversation that you guys had without the person there and you're reporting it to the person outside the group. That's the same thing she's doing. Yes, it's her husband, but he wasn't there when it was said. She said worse things about Marlo. She said worse things about Marlo. Doesn't mean Marlo doesn't have somebody to report to or talk to about it. And the fact that she was saying those things like, "Do you have your taxes checked? Check your criminal," trying to hurt her. Now she said something. Even if, okay, let's say she did say something about Ralph. You pushed her. You were saying things about her too in a demeaning way. So if she said something back to you, take it. I hate it when we are giving ourselves insults. I'm giving you insults, you're giving me back. Then you start getting pissed off for the insults I'm giving you. You're actually insulting me just because I decide not to take to heart the insult you're giving to me, and you decide to take it to heart. That's your problem. It shouldn't be mine. So I didn't see any reason why she should have like gone there.
Yeah, to be honest,
I didn't see a reason why she should have told Ralph.
yeah, and even if she tells Ralph, she should have told Ralph, she shouldn't have brought up the fact that, his name was mentioned in that way. But then again, the thing about it is when you're talking to your partner, you tend to like give them a lowdown of what happened during the day anyway. And so sometimes you don't expect that what I'm telling you in confidence, you're going to then go and take it back and then write to the person. Does that make sense? I think it could also be that as well.
Oh, Chaperality, are you here? I haven't heard her voice since.
Yes, I'm
Oh,
here. I am so enjoying you guys' take on this show. You guys are just amazing. I'm just
Thank
enjoying
you.
it so much.
Oh, you wanted to say something, Muka, before I ask for
oh,
Chaperality?
oh, no, 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 no.
To be honest, not much happened. If I'm being honest, I
Mm,
feel we've even tried thus far trying to like dissect stuff. And
I'm
honestly,
just,
I appreciate the pictures because the pictures are reminding me of what happened during the episode. Because I'll be honest, when I watched it, I was so irritated that that was it.
oh my God. And the fact that the whole episode, I think I was watching it to someone and the person said, I'm so shocked that the whole episode was about this fight with Drew and Marlo about the text messages. Every scene they brought up the fight. Every scene they brought up that issue, and I was like, man, I am tired. One issue over and over and over again. They had nothing, and apart from the Kenya and Courtney, nothing else happened. And I feel like
Mhm.
the reason why they are doing this after show now is because they feel like the ratings has been dropping. Let's start doing after shows to see how to revive,
Yep, they want to start
for
getting
people
people
to be
excited.
interested. And I watched the after show. It was nothing different from the show itself. It's the same
Mm.
thing. Drew bashing Marlo, Marlo drop bashing Drew, Kandi being herself and trying to be like, "Oh, I didn't expect her to do this." Blah blah blah. It's the same thing that I watched on the show. So why would I want to watch an after show that is just the same thing as the show?
Yeah.
Like I think they're just they're fighting, and I think they should just end the fight because the battle has been is over because the show is boring,
Yes, the show is
very
very
boring.
boring. And as I
Oh,
said, no, no, I just wanted to say real quick, since you had mentioned that about just keep rehashing the same thing, that there really is nothing going on at all. And I have not been able to watch an entire episode in weeks. I tried to rush to see last night's episode, to be here with you guys, and I still didn't finish it. So I'm listening to you guys as you talk about what happened towards the end. It is so bad. It is so bad. And I'm just thinking, this cannot be the same show that I used to look forward to, years ago. And why is it that they're filming the reunion already? How many episodes did they get? They didn't get as many episodes as they used to get, did they?
I think they said 16. I don't know.
16. Didn't it used to be a lot more than that? Like maybe 20 or 19 episodes? I have to look it up. But anyway, I just wanted to say that. But guys, keep going. I'm really enjoying this recap.
But with everything that is going on, how would they have more episodes? Right now, if they tell me that the season is ended, I will be so happy.
Right. So it seems as though they realized that they didn't have any content, nothing at all, and just wrapped it up. Because I'm thinking back to the beginning, Kenya's storyline. What happened to the salon? We haven't heard anything else about the
Oh,
salon.
there's stuff all over about the salon. The salon is gorgeous. I think it's almost done.
Why
She
haven't
showed
they talked about it on the show?
because they're not there yet. Remember the show right now. The show it's in December
Oh,
right
I
now.
see what you're saying. But
Right
but
now.
that was supposed to be her storyline at the beginning. Like we saw her visit the space one
Mhm.
time and that was it. There hasn't been any conversation about it. I don't know if did you guys see the interview that she did on Angela Yee's show on YouTube the other day where she talked about there's a lot of things that she does that they don't even show on the show. Like you said about her salon. She said
I
she has
believe it.
you saw it?
No, I said I believe it.
Oh
I
yeah, and
believe that they don't show it.
right, and that she has multiple businesses and they don't show any of it. But I'm just thinking back to now the show is almost over for the season and the initial storylines that they had at the beginning. And forgive me if I'm talking really loud because I have on some new headphones. But her storyline was supposed to be the salon. That was Kenya. Kandi, the same old same. Started off a little bit with her mother and then they dropped that. I don't care for Candy's story anyway. And it's always the same thing. And then the other people, it's like, Marlo, what happened to the self help she was doing with her counselor? Didn't
Hmm.
see any more sessions of that. I don't want to see any more sessions of that. But what were the storylines for these people? Sheree, well, I guess she by Sheree, she still talks about that. A little bit of Martell, but the show is just so horrible. That's all I wanted to say. Please continue. You guys are great.
Well, with Kenya, she did some type of it wasn't a soft opening, but she did something with the space where the salon is, and it was absolutely beautiful. That she did that, and then I saw the other day part of the salon. She posts the salon a lot, and I think she has a Instagram site. I think that's what I follow for the salon. But the salon looks beautiful, and she's showing us, every step of the way with the salon. But if they choose not to show, if they film that stuff and choose not to show it because you know how production is, they want to show all the salacious arguing and the other drama stuff. There's nothing that she can do. You know,
Right. And I just kind of feel as though it's the same old storyline. This whole Bolo thing just 2.0 with Drew and this
yeah.
it's like why did they decided to divert from what they were doing, the path that they were going on? I know the storylines weren't that great, but now you decide to start this foolishness. I don't want to hear about this. Did she or didn't she? It's like these are grown women. Is this the content that they're going to give us for this show? When years ago, when Nene was on the show, it was so good. Nene was so funny. And I know she's long gone now, but it's like now this is what you give us the same thing. And it's just so ridiculous. And it's clear. I don't care for Drew. I think that she's acting all the time. But it's clear as though it seems I would think that Shereé and Kenya would realize at this point, we have nothing here. Let's create something. You think that they would know, okay, we don't really have any storylines going on. Let's do something. They aren't even doing that. let's do something to create some drama is what I'm saying, but it's like there's just nothing going on.
No, well, I don't think they think about that. When Sheree tried to create drama with Martell, although it didn't work in her favor, but
Right. Well, Kenya
apart
did
from that,
say, yeah, Kenya said in the interview that Courtney came on too strong and that a lot of newbies, when they come on the show, they act a certain way because they think that's what the show is about. And that's not what the show is about. I'm thinking, okay, Kenya, you did the same thing when you came on the show your first season, and then for a couple of seasons, you kept going after Nene. So this lady is just, and then Kenya said, well, it didn't work because she's not a housewife. Well, the show is just horrible either way you spin it. I don't look forward to watching it. And it's like there's nothing to discuss. Like, what was. And then Candy didn't stay long. And like someone said earlier, she's more focused on SWV. And I can understand that. And I don't know if she was filming that show at the same time, but her energy is just so just low and dry and like even with the way she was dressed, like Shereé said, like, you're coming up in here, with that sweatsuit on. It's like there's no glamour. She's so dry. She just seems like she's tired of the show herself. It's almost like robotic when she comes there. She doesn't give us anything. I'm just disappointed because this used to be my favorite show. I used to watch it years ago. I love Nene, and I keep saying that, but it's like, is this what we have? At least Portia would do a lot better job than these people. I'd rather have Portia back. I think Portia would add a lot more interest to the show than what we've got going on now. And why is it they did not show Cynthia? Didn't show Cynthia coming to Kenya's set for the Kenya Moore hair care. They didn't show Cynthia. And then they called Cynthia in the room you saw on the episode. We didn't even hear her speak. Did she do something to make production or Bravo upset?
I think Cynthia's going to be in the next episode. I thought.
Oh, she is? Okay, good, good.
Yeah, that's in the next episode. She wasn't not in this one, because remember this one was all about Portugal. So she's going to be in the next episode.
Okay, good for her. I started to feel real bad for her.
Yeah,
what do you guys think about the preview for next week's episode?
I have to watch it because I watch it on Peacock, and they cut it off to go into the next episode of what they're going to show. So I have to look on Instagram and watch it.
Okay. What about your reviews?
Girl, I'll be honest, I literally just napped. I literally just fell asleep, guys. I'm so sorry. Like, I just heard reviews. I'm like, oh God, what did I miss? Like, I can't believe it. Like, Real Housewives put me to sleep. Believe it
You
or
didn't
not,
miss
it's
anything.
insane. Like,
I was asking whether you did you watch the preview for next week's episode.
okay, yes, I did. To be honest, I feel like the preview might give a little bit more than this episode did, if I'm being honest. I think I, although I still think Latoya coming on the preview on the show, that sounds interesting. I want to actually hear what Latoya has to say, even though I know that it's going to be nothing that Drew hasn't coached her about. um, but it'll be interesting to see Latoya. I actually liked Latoya on the show. Um, so it'll be nice to see her back on the show. Yeah, I'm kind of curious to see, like, is she going to like backpedal and say they go back to the original thing that she said about them kissing, or will she go back to what Drew has paid her to say, allegedly? um so I'm curious about that. So yeah, I think that's the only thing I'm like super curious about. To be honest, I don't honestly, this season is not doing it for me at all, so I won't hold my breath for that.
Yeah, I think I don't know who I was speaking with, and the person was like, how are you staying with Real Housewives? And I said, the only reason why I'm staying is because I started.
Mm,
If I didn't start reviewing it, I don't think I will continue. I don't think instead I'll be watching this season because I am disappointed. Like, and when you put them side to side to the previous episodes, like the previous seasons rather, you'll be like, is this what we'll be reduced to?
Mm-hmm.
Like we've been reduced to this level of stuff. Like, mm, man, I don't know. I'm literally tired. Like you said, the next six episode, I feel like you preview is just to make us eye catchy. Then when you watch it, you just be like,
It's the
wow,
same thing.
what a disappointment. Like, it's very disappointing. So I'm not actually putting my mind towards the episode. I'm just like, okay, when we get there, we're gonna watch it on that day and just see how that will play out.
Yeah.
That's just what I just feel like.
I feel
Oh,
like Bravo.
guys, that okay, you can go on.
I was just gonna say, I feel like Bravo needs to pay them Portia and Co to come back because this is a joke. They need to beg
Do you,
them at this point.
do you think they will come back? The way they the way they scrapped Nini, do you think she's gonna come back?
For the right amount, Nini would.
Yeah, I think she will come back. I think it's her identity. Just seeing her interview with Carlos, it seems
Mm-hmm.
like that's her identity is that show.
Yeah,
And,
I
and
think.
now that you guys mentioned, I didn't see the end of the episode to see the preview of next week. But if they're bringing Latoya back, they must be really desperate for a storyline on this show because was horrible the season she was there. That season was absolutely. I think that season was probably worse than this one. But if they're going to bring her back to create some drama with Drew, I'm wondering if this is some stuff that they filmed later on. They kind of added on when they realized they didn't have much of a storyline going, so they had to go do some filming to try to get something. They must be desperate to bring her back. But anyway, since you guys did such a great job, I was just enjoying hearing you guys talk about it. I'm going to go ahead and watch it now. I was not going to watch it, but you guys really, piqued my interest. What you said about the back and forth with Courtney and Kenya. I'm going to go ahead and watch it. Thank you guys so much.
No worries at all. Thank you so much. To be honest, I feel like we've covered everything that happened.
We have
Yeah.
we literally have the episode is just too dull. Well, let's
Yeah.
just see how next week we go. I don't know. Does anybody have any, you know, ending statements or ending words?
Honestly, nothing about the show, but I was going to say please subscribe to all of our channels. And yeah, thank you so much for joining today's show.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Subscribe to recaps, reviews and recaps. Subscribe to Mocha Media. Subscribe to Unfiltered Israel and subscribe to ShopWriting TV. And thank you guys for joining us. Those who joined us live, and we'll see you guys next week. By God's grace.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you
Bye.
guys.